Right, the ladies are with me, of course. Thank you very much for your time, Mum Lillian, and you, Mum Ayanda. Now, this is very exciting. I mean, is this your first animation, Mum Lillian?
No, my darling. In The Lion King, I played Queen Sarabi, who was Simba's mother.
All right, and when Mum Ayanda, you are playing a very important role in South Africa's history. Queen Nandi, she's the queen that a lot of people still talk about today. Many of the queen mothers that have gone on the throne or have descended that role in the Zulu kingdom have not been spoken about, but Queen Nandi has. How do you feel about being chosen to voice such an important role?
I think it's an honor for me. I mean, anybody that knows me or that follows me on social media knows how obsessed I am with Queen Queen Nandi. And to see her being portrayed in this way, to see her being portrayed in her son's life as being a pivotal part of his rise to power and being a pivotal part of the rise of the Zulu nation is just an honor. You know, they could not have been a better time to do this than now.
Mum Lillian, can you tell us a bit more about Gogo Malamula Zulu? I've never heard that name in any of the stories pertaining to King Shaka. Can you tell us a bit more about Gogo and her role in the Zulu kingdom?
Gogo Lamula was Shaka's grandmother. And for me, being a granny myself, loved her grandson who was being bullied by his peers. So Gogo had to motivate the grandson by telling a story of the great King Shaka. And for me, this was an honor because where I grew up in Lesotho, our grannies always used to tell us stories that made us we are today, stories with values and all that. So even Gogo Lamula was motivating her grandson who was really being bullied and tortured. And for me, this is a story that has never been told before. We've all seen the stories that were made of King Shaka. But this one is a real story seen by not South African, an African, from an African perspective. This is the real Shaka story because it's not only about leadership, it's about resilience, patience, a purpose. I mean, that it affects all of us, that we can rise above our challenges against all odds.
And I mean, Mum Lillian, every time I see you in any movie or any production that you've been involved in, you are quite a funny person. Are there any funny moments with the character that you're voicing in this particular animation?
There can never be any funny thing about your grandchild being tortured. But yes, I love funny, my darling. And remember, this is a very short animated film, very short. And then there were no moments like that. I'm sure in the future, because we're going forward, you're going to see them. Because surely every dark cloud has a silver lining.
Mum Ayanda, you know, recently, especially this year, a lot of people in South Africa started learning more about the Zulu monarch after the passing of the King Goodwill's Welitini as well as his wife. And then, of course, the throne being given to one of his sons, etc. So how important is it that, for instance, young children watch this film to be able to learn a bit of history about this monarch?
I think this is part of why this film is so important, is that it cuts across all generations, right? The fact that it's animation, that it is a historical and heritage piece told through animation makes it accessible for all target audiences. And yeah, you're rightfully so. It is important for our children to know and understand our history and to understand it from the beginnings, not necessarily to see history through the lens of what we see happening in the current landscape, but to understand it from as far back as we can tell it. And so I think this is why it's exciting for us to be able to be part of something so great, part of something so historical, part of something so amazing.
How was it for you to work together? I mean, you're basically a mother and daughter in this movie. Ukoko Lamula being Shaga's grandmother and Queen Nandi being Shaga's mother means that the both of you actually played the role of a mother and daughter. So how was that for the two of you?
I'm just going to correct that because I think Umam Lil made a mistake, made an error, and I'm sure it was just a memory thing. But she played Manzini's mother. The story is told through Manzini, who is the young boy who's been bullied, and Mam Lamula is telling the story of King Shaka. So Nandi is in a different time zone, and Mam Lillian is in the modern, or Mam Lamula is in the modern world. So it's being told through two parallel worlds, the modern and we see the story of Shaka being told through the lens of the character played by Mam Lillian, and so we delve into that ancient time, or the time of King Shaka and Queen Nandi. So just to clarify that it's told through different time frames. And so I wasn't necessarily playing the daughter. I was playing Shaga's mother, and she was playing Manzini's grandmother.
Now, Ma'am Lillian, just lastly for you, because we're running out of time, a bit of information about when people can start watching this. Where is it already out? Where do they get to see it?
They can see it on Facebook at Shaka Inkosi, and on Twitter at Shaka Inkosi, and on Instagram. But the launch will be on the 23rd of July at Durban Film Festival.